You're here. Nice. My favorite part of this is before this, I can see you dancing to the Live with Dan theme music. So that's great.
I know. I always have to make sure I time it so that I am like standing properly. But
yeah. I noticed you were like this, just at the right. Yeah, perfect. How's it going? Welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks. I know I've been gone a few weeks. Did a excursion to Colorado
Nice.
and got to see my family, and also got to see a black bear.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. I mean, it wasn't cool that my nieces and nephews were playing hide and seek outside.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
There was like a bear. There was a lot of yelling. I've never felt like I could just jump off a balcony so fast. We didn't. The bear left. The kids came inside. It was fine.
Nice. Yeah. I've heard, I don't know if this is 100% true. Someone can fact check me, but you're more likely to be stung by a bee than attacked by a black bear.
I would believe it. He did not seem like he wanted anything to do with us. He was like, "You're like, I live here. You are visiting. Please stop bothering me."
Nice.
But in regard, I don't remember the last time I was stung by a bee. So
it's been a few years for me.
Yeah, but
awesome.
I've missed you.
Yeah, I know. Likewise. I'm glad to have you back. We have an exciting show today, so I know there'll be some announcements. I want to go over some what in the name of research that I found with bad question types out in the wild. And then I want to talk about UX research and how QuestionPro can help out with that. I think it also transcends beyond QuestionPro a little bit with some question types, but want to get into that around, how we can help with the user experience on products and services and what we can deliver there. And then just general knowledge, and then also have some interesting data points about the Olympics, which are happening finally. What's weird to me, it's the Olympics 2020, but we're in 2021. I know they were postponed, but it seems weird. It's confusing.
You know how much branding that would cost? Like how much that would cost to change all the things they printed already?
I know, but I was confused. Speaking of user experience, I was confused at first, but
anyway. But you got to hold on to that because they're not. Is the next one in 3 years then? Are they going back on the 4-year schedule?
I think it's a 4-year schedule. That's why I thought they kept it at 2020. So yeah, I think so.
Oh, so then the next one's going to be even closer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got you.
So bonus if you like the Summer Olympics,
Bonus. It's true. Though I did instead of watching opening ceremonies this morning.
Did you watch it?
No, I watched Ted Lasso instead.
See?
I was watching Ted Lasso at 7 a.m. I was like, yes. I was so excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what sort of announcements do we have today?
Well, we have lots going on as per usual. I know it's sometimes during the summer slumber, people think that there's not activities to do, but you're wrong. Next week, we're doing office hours, our monthly just open forum of where you can ask us questions. I'm going to, post the link in all the platforms. And so just jump on. We're actually going to be doing it in the same kind of platform that we do live with Dan next week instead of in Zoom, because we want to make it a little bit more accessible to everyone. And, if you're literally working on a survey it doesn't even have to be our survey. It could be someone at a competitor survey or something. But if you have a question about how to ask a question, how to program something, just literally send us a comment. We'll be monitoring all of our social media platforms because we want to make sure that you guys get all the information you need to be so successful. And office hours happens monthly. It's literally just come in, ask us questions, and we will answer almost anything. Even last time somebody asked us what our favorite movie was or what we wanted to be when we grew up. I was like, oh, I'm kind of already there. But,
right. I'm still trying to figure that out, what I want to be when I grow up.
And then this week, we also had Work It Life dropped another podcast about is your inner critique running the show or your inner critic running the show? So, make sure that you take a listen. The Work at Life podcast drop every other Tuesday, and they're a curated interview with somebody from the industry. It's not just like, me and Dan. It's Sonia and Maddie interviewing people who really are just thought leaders in the HR and culture experience workplace. So that's really great. And then every Wednesday, we have a partnership with CX Forums, where they also bring in so many guest speakers.
I know.
Where they also bring in guests.
Really doing it. I like it.
Oh, man. And Mark Michelson and Ken Peterson help spearhead this program with CX Forums. CX Forums is also doing live events in person this fall in Boston, Austin, Chicago. And so we will definitely be partnering with them for the Austin one for sure in December.
Nice. And I've been to one of the CX Forums events. It's really good. They have good speakers, so I would recommend it. Went to the one in Dallas, but I'll of course go to the one in Austin since it's
it's going to be out in Bee Cave. We're helping organize it. We will all be there.
I like Bee Cave. That's a nice area.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there's a lot going on there. I will mention a few others. Like there's a community supplement that we did with MR Web. I don't know if we have the link, but you can find it. We sent out an email today. It's been in the socials. So there's a community supplement that we did that I was involved with. And
let me find the link for it.
Yeah, no worries. And then kind of to go along with that, we did a podcast with EMI and the Telecast, I think it's called. And so that was a lot of fun. Had a good time with Brian on that show, talking about communities, best practices, kind of gotchas, things to watch out for. So that was fun. And be sure to check that out. It's 20, 30 minutes long. So those are a lot of the different areas of content that you can get from us. We're out there. So, if you want content.
I just got so many links I have to share now.
Oh, no, sorry about that. I know. That was a surprise.
I know. It's really great being able to hear you, Dan, on other podcasts. So make sure that you not only follow QuestionPro on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and all the things. Also make sure you follow. Where's Dan? Dan!
I guess I'm to your right.
I always forget because this doesn't do the near.
I know it's weird, but
okay.
All right. Now that we got that sorted, let's jump right into it. So I have a few examples here of research questions out in the wild that I got from bad survey questions on Twitter. So these are actual examples. These are not made up. These are not, glossed over or anything. These are actual examples people found, and they posted that, these are examples of survey questions that you should probably proofread and figure out beforehand before you send them out and have respondents answering, because then you're just going to get bad data, and no one wants bad data, right? So
are they assuming that I use the Met Office Weather app?
So I think to set this up, these were users of the Met Office Weather app.
Okay.
But then they assumed that you use another app when, in fact, if you don't, there's no option for that. So, you have to use another one, right? Like no, I don't. This is only one. So this is an example of, you'll probably get some bad data in here. And I don't know if Dark Sky or Windy are other apps, but maybe you could have even cut the list shorter. If those are other apps, I don't know. But
yeah,
it seems like Apple, Google, AccuWeather probably would have been enough, and then have the other there just so the list isn't as long. And then also you can always code those in the back end if those are, tend to be bigger examples than you initially thought. But definitely I would always include a none of the above, or I don't use any other apps, some way to get out of this, because you're going to get, bad data with this kind of question set up.
That is, when I was on vacation, I even took a couple photos of because I was driving in the bathrooms being like, send us your response. And I was going to show you the bad questions that they had posted in the bathrooms at all these gas stations.
I know, right?
I felt like such a research nerd, taking pictures of surveys as I was driving across the country.
Oh, We finally conformed you. I love it. This is great.
It made me feel like kind of like, oh my gosh, this is my job and my life.
You're just in it now. There's no escaping. I like it. So another example is, I would say, make sure this is an example where how's everything going with your home financing experience? Is off to a fantastic start. So far, so good. I have concerns. So what's the difference between off to a fantastic start and so far, so good? It may seem like it's a logical, like fantastic is, excellent. So far, so good is kind of meh. But I would say that these two are pretty much the same. Like if it's so far, so good, then you really maybe don't have any complaints. But if you want to get a better example of this or better data, have like off to a fantastic start, perfect. The second one should be like, it's good, but not great, kind of a neutral sort of response. And then I have concerns, of course, is like, okay, well, they're probably going to route you to, a specialist that can help you out with answering your questions, perhaps.
I would hope they'd route you, but sometimes these surveys, they just like collect the data and then you're like, wait.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends, but a lot of times I think they take this in the back end and, contact us, depending if it's a CX type survey or if it's just collecting the data. But make sure your answer options are clear and there's no ambiguity between them. So that way you're getting, good data points. Because you may come back to this and say, oh, it was only so far so good, we might have a problem, when in fact you don't. If it's good, it's good. So that's a word of caution here, I would say, on these ones. Just make sure your answer options are clear and don't have somewhat of the same meaning. So
agreed.
So things to watch out for, and we want you to collect good data. So those are things that you need to be on the lookout for. All right, let's talk about user experience and ways that you can use QuestionPro or any survey platform for that matter, and to help out with your user experience research. So
let's do it.
For those that don't know what UX is, it's the experience the user has with a product or service, and there's different ways to go about it and collect that data. It could be in like IDIs, individual interview discussions, and so forth. It could be that you do survey questions, send them out, get different examples there, which will no doubt I'll show you right now some of those different examples here. Let me share my screen and get into QuestionPro, where I have 5 examples set up for you. So
yay!
The first way that you can conduct some user research is by using max diff. So getting the most and least important, could be attributes, it could be product features, it could be things that you like and don't like about the website. So in this case, included, this is an example, of course, but for each of the options below, please choose your most and least important areas of the website. So it could be user reviews, pricing, product information, support, and blogs. So this would take you through, if you went and you previewed this question here, you could say, oh, I like user reviews, but I don't really need the support. And then this would put it up so you would be able to see a share of preference. So you can see most people care about pricing, and then the next one, maybe it's the blog and then support. So you would know different ways to organize the website and perhaps promote those on the homepage or do different things to help out with what users like and don't like about the site. So this is an example that you can use for your usability or UX research.
Yeah. Now, so, from a practical standpoint on the marketing side, this seems all well and good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we should totally do that. But then who executes it? Is it your research team? Is it your UX team? Yeah. Is it your marketing team? Like, there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen when it comes to a website. That's
true. In this example, typically it would be a UX researcher at a company. I think that's typically the norm.
Yeah.
And, they would be doing research on the website. I think it's probably a little bit of a shared between marketing and UX, depending on the company setup, because marketing is obviously going to have their say. But if you want to get some data around what you should include, like let's say you're, I don't know, what's a good online retailer that you would?
Oh my God, my brain just went blank.
I know, mine too. So let's say you're let's say you're Nordstrom, for example, right? So
I was like, I mostly just shop on Target app now.
let's say you're Nordstrom, right? Let's go with Nordstrom for a minute. So, and you have a website, you're going to need some, UX, probably some UI researchers that can help with the design. Does it make sense? The buying experience. So you can use those. You can use like MaxDiff in that situation, because then you can, what things to include, what is most important when you're shopping, for instance. And then based on that, maybe you need to see how it looks on you, or you need to know the sizes, whatever it might be. You can use it in that regard. So if you take it away from, hey, this isn't so much a marketing exercise, this is maybe a product decision or product purchase, then it would make, it makes some sense there.
Gotcha.
And then MaxDiff is a side note about MaxDiff. It's great because you get more if you didn't use MaxDiff, you'd probably use typical like 1 to 5 rating scale, where all the options they tend to fall in the 3.5, 3.7 range. So you don't get any clear differentiation between the two. Where MaxDiff, you definitely do. You would get, this is the most important, this is the least important, and then everything in between. So that's something that you can keep in mind when you're doing this type of research. Say card sorting is another one. If you want to know how to organize a website, or you want to know which features from a user experience standpoint are must-haves or nice to haves, don't need. If this is a website example, it could be different areas of your website and different things to include, so you know how to organize it in a way that makes logical sense to people visiting the site. So obviously this is it's an example here with, there's different fruits and what's a must-have, nice to have, and don't need. So you can organize these if you wanted to, relabel these. Maybe if it's relating to, product or service or a website, it could be you need to see how it looks, or you need to know the sizes. Maybe it also could be user reviews.
Okay.
Other things like that.
This isn't just for like general website. This could be for an in-app experience. This could be for a gaming experience or a survey experience. It could be really for any kind of I'm using the word experience a lot, but for any kind of application that you're looking to find the priorities for your, essentially above the fold, probably too.
100%. Or it could be even just for in terms of priority. So let's say you're developing a new product, or you want to do some enhancements, and you need to know, hey, do these features matter to my users? And you can say, you can organize these categories. You can leave these categories open too. So let's say you have a list of different things and you don't know how to categorize them. You can leave it open. So maybe if it's like the different types of fruit, let's say, or vegetable, if you don't know what these things are at a very simple level, you can see what do the users think they are, and then you can, So then
it's almost like the users self-categorize it, and it leaves it open for them to be like, well, I think these 5 things go together. And as the researcher, you may never have realized that.
Exactly. 100%.
That's great. It also sounds like it'd be good for road mapping your product.
There's many uses, and that road mapping is definitely one of them. See?
Nice.
You went into this and you're like, what are we going to talk about today? You know a lot more than you think.
I definitely was not. I was like, I'm not a UX. I don't do UX. Like, there's professionals for that.
I know, and I could have put A/B testing in here, but I didn't, because I know you like the A/B testing. I
do love A/B testing. We have a new homepage because of it. Go check out QuestionPro.com.
Yeah, it won out.
Homepage image.
And then another one is, a lot of user experiences. Like, how do you feel using using a product or service? Was it easy? Was it hard? These kind of different things that the researchers want to know from a user experience standpoint. So in this case, are using our livecast question type to collect more. This is more open-ended feedback. Typically, you might get this in asking an interview one-on-one with a particular user. In this case, you can do it maybe sending out a survey and getting their feedback. The difference is we'll overlay a few different components on top of it with this question. So from a very, very practical standpoint, I can take this question.
I was I think this question type is brand new to me too right now.
It's in beta, so it's something that we're launching with some select customers.
Here first, guys.
Yeah. So if you want to use this, let me know. We can hook you up. So did you buy shoes on our site? Yes. And then this comes up. I'm not sure how it'll work because we're also recording here.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see where it comes up.
There
it
you are.
confirms what I'm saying. And then when I'm done with my response, I can click this. It uploads it and then takes it back here. But I did an example earlier. So I'll show you from a practical standpoint some of the different data that you'll get here. So this report one, let's see, it's coming up. So I wanted to show the existing report. It's loading up here. So you can see I recorded this earlier and it was the same question, like, how do you feel? So you can see that, perfect match shoes, these are positive, I guess, sentiment that attached to it. So you can see that it was positive. I had a great feeling. I was able to find what I'm looking for, found the shoes I wanted, match it, right? And then if I click on this, we also layer on facial recognition. So in this case, it was joy. So it was 86% joyful. And you can use this to really hone in on what is the person really saying. Is there anything that their face is showing that they're not saying? And you can use it to really see how things are, playing out in your product or service. So these are things
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've tried to trick this thing and there's no trick in it. So I did a fake one, or I did an example where I guess it's not fake, but it was an example where I love camping and I tried to trick it to say I don't like camping. And it said I was tentative, like to a high degree. So it knew I was lying as well. So this is a great question type to use if you're getting that, open-ended feedback and you wanted to get those more anecdotal responses from users or customers. This is a great question type to use.
What's the, not translate, but closed caption what you say? Yeah,
it does here. So this is what I said. Perfect. This is what I said, and then positive, perfect match. And you can customize some of these things. Like if you go back here and you don't think it was a different tag, you can customize it and change those responses too. So a lot of different things and examples that you can do with Livecast. But I just love how it shows the facial recognition and
that's so cool.
Another data point there. So that is something you can use to enhance your user experience toolbar.
And since it is in beta at QuestionPro, what license type is it under beta in?
Well, that's a good question. It's under the research edition. So you need to be a research edition. I guess that's the license type you need to have. So I was going to say a research edition member, but that didn't sound right. So research edition customer. So if you're on that license type and you want to use it, happy to enable it so you can try it out. We have many clients that are piloting it and they're loving the data that they're getting back from it. So it's really fun. It's one of my favorite question types at the moment. And we all need a favorite.
Even above Van Westendorp.
Yeah, even above Van Westendorp, Garber Granger. Livecast is the new one. So, and you always need a favorite question type. Okay.
Always.
Heat map. So this is another one that we can use. I know you noticed what this is. So heat map is a way that you can see what maybe the call to action on the website, where do you first see, what area of the image is most important or appealing. It could be many different examples. So if I take this link here, plug it in, we can see the new homepage here, right? So
a little squished, but yes.
Yeah, it's a little squished. Yeah, not an exact replication. It's but close enough. So you can, in this example, click on the area of the homepage that first grabs your attention. So in this case, maybe it's free account. You see it puts the little dot there. So once you get a number of these responses, there'll be more intensity to where more people have clicked. So you can say, yeah, this is definitely right on. This is the flow that we want users to go through. Consequently, if I typed in, maybe log in is the next one here. So you can have any number of clicks that you want the user to use. So let's say it's what are the top 3 areas that grab your attention. You can click those 3 and so forth. So heat map is one of those question types. It's great to use when doing any sort of ad copy or want to know on the website where it grabs people's attention, what's most exciting. So that's a question type that you can use in your UX research. Another example is a little bit outside of the box, but it's called SUS, or system usability scoring.
I was like, oh, you're going to get sus now.
Yeah, see? So this one's we've programmed inside of QuestionPro. It's a list. I think there's 10
Oh my gosh,
plus
it's so many
here.
questions.
Yeah, but what it gets at is, how easy is the system or the website? What's the usability? It gives out a score based on this. So an example of this would be, let's see, I'll put this in here and you can see the scores that it gives out. So I'll select my language. And then I won't go through all these questions, but the general gist is I would like to use this system frequently, agree, unnecessarily complex. Maybe you disagree with that, you agree. So the user would go through, answer these questions, and then you get a meaningful score about the usability of your system or website. So you can have a comment here like, I really like the site, whatever it might be.
I really like it.
I really like it. Yeah.
Sorry, my sarcasm. I forget we're doing a live show.
I know, geez, come on now. Jeez. There's no editing here. Just we go.
It's live.
So then you get a SUS score. So the SUS score in this case is 60. 68 and above is average. So if you're below 68,
Ooh.
then you need some help. You need some work. So you can use some of those other things that we showed to really hone in on those different areas where you would need some help with your SUS scoring and different ways to improve your usability. So this is a capability that we have. Yes, Crystal.
Is there a template for this, or do you have to fill out all of those sub questions yourself?
There's a template for this, but we also can help you out with the scoring. Essentially, what we did with this is we use our scoring module to get our scoring logic, rather, I should say, to get the scores in. So that way, each one of these represents a certain score, and then that comes up to the total. So
okay,
you can definitely we can copy this into accounts, give you this template, and then help you out with the scoring. But this is something that a lot of UX, UI researchers use to do the SUS scoring on their systems and websites and so forth. So great capability that we have that is a little bit outside of the box in terms of you may not know that we can do this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think those are the UX examples that I wanted to show. Of course, there's many more, but I wanted just to cover at least 5 to show you what we can do in a UX standpoint. So that is that.
I love that. So many new products.
I know, a lot of different things you can do,
I know. I love it. I love learning new things.
See, you learn things on Live for 10. Okay, let's switch up. Final segment here, data points. So I want to talk about the Olympics. I like the Olympics. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. I didn't watch the opening ceremonies yet, but I like watching the events. And I think the nostalgia that it's every 4 years, or every 5 years in this case, because it was a COVID year. But I just wanted to find out more about it. So Tim, Director of Audience, hooked us up with some questions here. I'm using one of our panels in no time at all. So he got these responses for us. So let's see what the questions are and some of the answers and data points here. So did you watch the opening ceremony for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics? Yes, no. So about 50-50. No surprise there. I think this one is interesting with the 90 positive COVID cases that have been registered at the Tokyo Olympics among the staff and athletes. Should Tokyo be more strict on their restrictions?
I mean, they're pretty strict already.
I know. I don't know what else they can really do, but 58% said yes, and then 41, almost 42% said no. So I don't think a big surprise here. I think it's pretty, people want to see the Olympics and so forth. So this one is interesting. Did you hear about the?
Oh yeah, I mean, she was running in Eugene, Oregon. So yeah, that's where the trials were, where it's technically legal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but not to the Olympic Committee apparently. So, do you agree with the decision that she was banned due to positive tests for a chemical found in marijuana? 50-50 here, yes and no. So kind of interesting. I know there was when I was reading it on social media, there was a big, kind of outcry. I think both ways, but it's kind of interesting to see that it's split here. I think a lot of people don't think it's fair, but I guess that's the rules of the Olympics.
I mean, what was it? The Poland women's volleyball team also got fined for not wearing bikini shorts when they wore like spandex shorts instead. So, I think maybe, I think maybe there are some, I was like, there's still spandex. Some, future Olympic revisions that probably need to be made.
Yeah, I think so.
But
probably.
This is a great opportunity to mention, not awkwardly, that we now have a cannabis industry consumer and professionals panel.
Nice.
That you can ask questions to through Tim Cornelius, our head of audience.
Yes, that's a good point. That's perfect. Perfect segue. I like that.
Thanks.
Your marketing mind is always working. I like it. All right. So, which Olympic event are you most excited to watch? So, we have track and field, soccer, volleyball, pentathlon, swimming, tennis, gymnastics, rowing, cycling, other not interested. So people like their gymnastics, I know, right? So
did you put swimming on
here? Yeah, swimming is here. Only.
Oh, I mean, Ledecky, she's crazy good. I love watching her. And I will be up at 6:30 tomorrow to watch the New Zealand and women's national team game. That's my Saturday morning activity.
Nice. That's a good Saturday morning activity,
Yeah, soccer and mimosas, man. Can't go wrong.
Soccer and mimosas. Nice. I like it.
Wow, gymnastics really like.
Yeah, I guess that's one they like the most. I would say I kind of like the track and field, soccer, and then golf is now an Olympic sport, so I like to watch golf, but no. Okay.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, Dan.
I mean, it's not that odd. A lot of people golf. It's not like.
Do you also play golf?
I do, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact.
Yeah, see, fun fact,
Okay.
Oh, John has a point here.
Tony Hawk, man, I will always have a crush on him, no matter how old he is.
How old do you think he is?
Isn't he didn't he just turn 50 a couple years ago?
He's like 53, I think.
Yeah. Man.
He was I watched X Games last weekend, and he was there.
He just holds a special place in my heart.
What?
He just holds a special place in my preteen heart.
No, he's awesome. He's super fun to watch, and
I follow him on Twitter. He's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
And any more questions? Is that it?
That's all the questions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So it's super interesting stuff today. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here. And, make sure that you guys, everyone watching, make sure to join us on Monday for office hours. We would love it to have your hardest questions. We're always trying to stump the professionals that we bring in. And then office hours kind of moving forward, we're going to be doing some themed office hours around communities and research and workforce. So it's not just about surveys general, it's about everyone getting their questions answered. So join us live for that. I will make sure to rein in my sarcasm.
Be your authentic self. I love it.
Every day.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Bye.